Hello again from Mission Alive from MSC Mission Office. I'm Roger, I'm the Director. I want to talk a little bit about some water projects and some of the difficulties of water projects. When I was in Papua New Guinea for many years, I used to often see the women, young girls carrying the water, often having to walk a long distance, up or downhill, and carrying the water on their heads or in their billums, suspended from their head down their back. Not a small amount of water, 10 litres, 20 litres, and probably on top of that the food and maybe the firewood for the house. In different places where I was visiting, the government put money into a major water project for a village or an area, which often involved maybe a pump from the river or solar panels with a pump with a water source and pumping it up to the village. In one place, first there was a windmill, then there was a pump. And what happened in some of those places, all of the 3 places that I know of, the project completely failed because the people were expected to contribute on a regular basis, usually monthly, to the maintenance of whatever machinery was in place. And they wouldn't do that. Some wouldn't, some would, and some wouldn't. And then those who were contributing got upset with those who were not contributing, and they stopped contributing. So in the end, the machine broke down and it went back to the women carrying water. Often said to people there, including the men, if the men had to carry the water, then the pumping system would stay alive. I had an email recently from one of our donors, a man who had worked overseas with the government, Australian government in many different places, and part of what he did was put in water systems. And he said one of the biggest problems of it was the maintenance of the system and the people's contribution to the maintenance. One particular place where I was in, there was an island and there was absolutely unlimited water under that island. The mission had run a big mission station and the water was managed. And in the village, a water system was put in enough that they, if they wanted to, they could grow market gardens and take food to the market every week. It failed. And it failed because partly a cultural factor, where the people used to fight amongst themselves. They could not cooperate with each other, which is quite amazing in that they were a communitarian culture. And they had a lot of obligations to help and support each other. But somehow in these things, they could not support the project and they could not cooperate together. And often this had a long history of family argumentation, family feuds. So it's a cultural historical factor, which is one thing that we have to get over in those places. So there's a need to follow up to see how the projects are working. And that's one reason when we can, we go overseas to inspect those projects. Also to meet people, to encourage people, to advise people. In some of our places in Vietnam, it is working very well. They have put in a number of places a reverse osmosis system, which produces a lot of water, and they sell the water to the people in large containers, at least 20-litre containers, and the money goes to support the work, to support the machinery, to support whatever labour is needed to keep this thing going. And that is a very good example. And I hope in time to be able to travel to those places to see how they are working. So our mission needs maintenance. The machinery needs maintenance. The pumps, the osmosis machines, the filters, the pipelines, and so on and so forth. So we could say that mission needs maintenance, like any system. unless you maintain the system, unless you maintain the infrastructure or the machinery or whatever we're talking about, it will cease to work. And in one sense, I'm thinking even in terms of our relationships with each other, it needs maintenance. And people are probably doing a lot of that now. We ring up people, we go online like this, Skype and all the other methods that we use to communicate. Unless we communicate, unless we keep the channels of friendship, relationships open, then the relationship becomes weaker and can even die. And it's all the same with our faith and our support of mission and our willingness to help people, to support charitable needs, anything that needs to be done, which many I know are doing, and I encourage you to keep doing. We have to keep doing it. If we don't keep doing it, then it stops working, or we move away from it. We lose interest. So we could say this morning, perhaps the message is, Mission Alive needs mission maintenance. So we need to persevere and keep going. I wish you well in your mission today, and we'll see more of you during the week. Thank you.